I have to start right here and now with Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. He is dead to me. The Titans have to move on from him. He has burned all relationship that he had with anybody who is a Titans fan. He completely and totally sucked and single-handedly caused the Titans to lose that game. Some stats for you. All 7 NFL quarterbacks other than Ryan Tannehill combined for 3 interceptions in the 4 playoff games. Ryan Tannehill had 3, all of his own design, all awful, including the first pass he threw, which was picked off, and the last pass he threw, which was picked off. Included in there, another awful interception that nearly resulted in a pick 6. I'm done with him. He has established what he is. He can have an okay regular season, but in the last 2 games he's played in the playoffs at home, he's been beyond atrocious. Against the Baltimore Ravens last year, only 13 points for the offense, an interception to end the game. Against the Cincinnati Bengals in this game on Saturday, an interception to end the game, only 16 points of offense. There are lots of things you can talk about. They should have quarterback sneaked it in the fourth quarter on 3rd or 4th down. You can argue about whether or not going for 1 versus 2 was the right call after the first touchdown. But really, ultimately, this is all about Ryan Tannehill and how much he sucks. And I got to be honest with you, I am a Tennessee Titan longtime fan. I've been to every playoff game they have ever played. I am a season ticket holder. He's dead to me. He wouldn't talk to the media today. He sucks. He's not a primetime player. He's being paid $100 million. Nice guy. I have no issues with him. I hope that he's a great husband. I hope he's a great dad. When you make $100 million, you have to perform, and he did not perform. Titans are never going to be, I bet, in a better position to potentially contend for a Super Bowl trip than they were this weekend. You beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and by the way, congratulations to Joe Burrow and the Bengals. You get sacked 9 times and still find a way to win. That's the first time since the merger in the playoffs that somebody's been sacked that many times and won. But all that is a sign of how awful Ryan Tannehill was. He single-handedly gave this game away to the Cincinnati Bengals. And I understand all the coaches and management, they have to come out and say, no one player won the game, no one player lost it. They have to say that. It's a lie. Ryan Tannehill lost this game. He shit the bed. I don't like to curse, but he shit the bed completely, and he has to be gone. I don't care what it costs to get rid of him. He's not a championship contender. He is not ever going to win a Super Bowl. You can draw some analogies. He's Andy Dalton. He's Alex Smith. He can have a decent regular season, but he's never going to actually win when it matters. And for people out there who say, well, a couple of years ago he won. Yeah, he won when he didn't have to throw the ball and he didn't have to do anything when Derrick Henry was going to run for 200 yards. Both of the games that Ryan Tannehill won, he had under 100 yards passing, okay? Both of the playoff games that he's won, and he now has lost 3 in a row. And I looked up the stats because I couldn't sleep, and I'll talk about that in a minute. 150.8 yards he's averaged in passing, 1.4 touchdowns, 1 INT per game. In his last 2 home playoff games, he's thrown 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. This guy is not the answer for the Titans. He's regressed this year. Maybe he is missing Arthur Smith, but he stares down his receivers. All of the interceptions were awful, including that final interception. You can tell that the team doesn't have faith in him. They took over the possession with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left and were close to running out of time. 3rd and 5, when he threw the final interception, he's got at least 2 guys wide open. Anthony Ferkser is there for an easy first down. He's not the answer, okay? And I feel like rooting for Ryan Tannehill is like going to watch a movie when you already know how the movie ends. The movie ends, the season ends with Ryan Tannehill sucking. At some point in time, he's going to blow it. That's who he is. That's what he is. The Titans blew it by giving him $100 million, and guaranteeing him all this money. He's not a primetime player. He's never going to win at a high level. And I am, honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to go to a Titans game next year because he has so burned any faith that I had in him with his last 2 performances in the playoffs at home. It's the 3rd straight time for Tennessee Titans fans that we have been the 1 seed, played at home, and only had to win 1 game. And the Bengal game on Saturday, the Titans completely botched, gave it away, failure on epic magnitude levels, and all was directly on Ryan Tannehill. If Tannehill doesn't turn the ball over, Titans probably win that game by double digits. That's how well everybody else played. And I know they're all, even if they won't say it publicly, looking at Ryan Tannehill and know how crappy he was and have zero faith in him. So the Titans may well trot him out next year, and maybe they can contend for the division again because the Jags suck and because the Texans suck and because Carson Wentz is garbage with the Indianapolis Colts. Who cares? If you know you're going to lose once you get into the postseason, what's the point? Are we playing to try to win, or are we playing to try to be mediocre? Okay? And this is just bigger picture. If your goal is to just be decent, that's fine. It's not my goal. Okay? Maybe I'm super competitive on a level that other people are not, but I'm not just trying to have a job. I'm trying to be the best. And if you can't get to the best, then find somebody else who gives you a chance to be the best, all right? Somebody said a while ago, what has to be done should be done immediately. When you know it has to happen, rip the Band-Aid off, find a way to get rid of Ryan Tannehill. Anything else is a waste. He's done for, okay? Nothing for him. I was thinking about buying a box. I got plenty of money. I don't support mediocrity. I'm not going to do that because the Titans put out a mediocre quarterback product. He stunk, and he has now sucked in 2 straight home playoff games. What's the point? What's the point in rooting for a guy that you know is going to fail when you know how a movie ends? That's it. Some people are like, oh, well, you're not being fair to him. I mean, you know, he got us and we won the division, everything. I don't care. My goal is not to win the division. It's to win a Super Bowl. As soon as you know that you have a guy who can't win you a Super Bowl, it's time to move on. Ryan Tannehill is not winning a Super Bowl. I'm going to get to Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Maybe they could have faked their way in, only having to beat one of those 2 guys, okay? They're not going to beat those guys very often. Joe Burrow is going to get better. Justin Herbert is going to get better. The rest of the Titan roster is elite. It is capable of winning a Super Bowl. The person who is holding back this roster is Ryan Tannehill. That's the simple truth. You got to figure out a way to get in the game with Russell Wilson. You got to figure out a way to get in the game with Aaron Rodgers. You got to figure out a way, if you want to win in this window, to move on from Ryan Tannehill, get rid of him. You saw what happened. The Rams did it, okay? Credit to Matthew Stafford and what he has done, but Sean McVay saw that Jared Goff wasn't the guy, and they did whatever they had to get rid of Jared Goff. And now I like the Rams' chances to win the NFC and be in the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. I'll get to that in a moment. And by the way, I wish that I didn't care as much. And maybe that's the answer, is I just need to turn off caring about the Titans, acknowledge that they're going to suck, and move on and watch other teams and other players who are better, like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, regardless of which team they play for. But I've been going to games for over 20 years. I want excellence. And I was so disgusted by what I saw on Saturday, by the way that the Titans lost, by the incompetence of the quarterback play. And yes, there were other aspects, but make no mistake, this was about Ryan Tannehill sucking, that I couldn't even sleep on Saturday night. I couldn't sleep on Sunday night. I bet I don't sleep well tonight. I hate allowing people who aren't as good at their jobs as I am at mine to impact the way that I feel, which is why I'm so thoroughly disgusted by Ryan Tannehill. I'm a 42-year-old man, and I could not sleep Saturday night because I was so disgusted by his play. I don't know how he sleeps for a month. And by the way, get a pair of stones, you loser, and actually talk to the media as opposed to hiding from them today like you did because you sucked and you didn't want to stand and have to answer for it.